Back on ESPN and the Watch ESPN app. My name is Dave Vincent alongside David Fink for this women's quarterfinals match. It's an all-Irish women's semifinal, or I should say semifinal match is what it is. I said quarters, but, you know, we've had the quarters already. We're going to the semis. Now we're semi-Saturday because Katrina Casey is going to go up against her good friend E Ft McCarthy here.
And you said it, Dave, two best friends facing off in the semifinals. This is E Ft McCarthy's first semifinal appearance on the women's race for 8. I know she's extremely excited about that. She's put in a lot of hard miles, a lot of training to get to this point, and it showed in that quarterfinal clash with Maria Dugas, overwhelming the Canadian 15-0 in that tiebreaker. Now, Katrina Casey in the yellow shorts is the women's race for 8, #1. She's on a 76 straight streak of scoring points without her opponents scoring 1. Now, I made that a lot more complicated. She's outscored her opponents 76-0 in the last 76 points that she's played in the last 2 events combined, including this morning's 15-0, 15-0 thrashing.
Has that ever happened before?
No.
And I mean, men or women?
No.
Have you? I know you love tennis, and
yeah.
Has that even happened in tennis that you can think of?
How could someone
like
score 76 straight points?
No,
in
tennis? We're talking 0 is your opponent getting. I know they would have to score some points, obviously.
Well, this is actually not scoring any points, but no, not even in tennis can I think of opponent not scoring.
Yeah, it's just unreal.
Yeah.
And this isn't going to make headlines anywhere unless, I guess, we try to make headlines. But Katrina Casey has now outscored her opponent 76-0 in a row, dating back to the last pro stop.
So
that's nuts.
Yeah, that includes the semifinals in San Francisco, end of the first game, second game, the finals, which was 30-0, the quarterfinals here, also 30-0 in the second game in that semifinals there. So maybe Katrina Casey.
The headline should read, who is going to defeat Katrina Casey, or who's going to score a point?
Well, I think E Ft McCarthy has the best chance only because this is her best friend, and maybe Katrina.
That's what breaks the mold of Katrina, because we've spoken to Katrina about putting zeros on people, and she said, I'm just trying to win the point. I don't think of those things.
Yeah.
But she has to be thinking of this. I mean, they're best
friends.
Well,
I told her about it. But you remember they played in the women's Friday night fights in Tucson, and that was a 0 also. Katrina won that exhibition by a combined score of 50-1 over E Ft McCarthy, which is an off day for her.
Yeah,
that was against E Ft McCarthy and Tracy Davis, 50-1.
Yeah,
back-to-back matches.
And then later that night, she continued to keep playing.
Yeah,
some of the locals who wanted to have an exhibition against her, and they found out also that they couldn't score. So that's how good she is. Katrina Casey, she's getting a lot of press from the WPH, the World Players of Handball Foundation, at WPHlive.tv, as well as her new sponsor, E Ft Lowell Handball. But it's rightly so, don't you think?
Well,
I mean, if anybody ever deserved it, it's Katrina.
Yes, absolutely.
All right.
Both these young ladies, absolutely incredible for the game. They're helping run the tournament here. They spent the summer in Tucson, Dave, coaching kids, helping us run tournaments. I guess our only complaint about both of them is that they don't live in Tucson.
Yeah. You see that smile right there from Aoife? Because she now knows that she needs to take this serious.
0 serve 0.
I think
that first point's going to happen now, right?
It doesn't, though.
Wow. It did. And the very first point took place
take off my jacket.
Stand up. Okay, we're going home now. That did not last long. We thought, how long will this streak go? And I thought that Aoife just got her second point, and she does. So we haven't seen over a matter of 39 days. We've seen
2 serve 0.
How many points? 0 in 39 days, and now we've seen
2 points in 20 seconds.
39 seconds.
But remember now, Aoife's on a streak, Dave, of 19 consecutive points. She won that second game against Maria Dugas, then won 15-0
side out
in the tiebreaker. So this is a new streak, Dave.
In all of sports, how
0 serves 2.
big of an upset would it be for Aoife to take down Katrina in this match?
I don't know that we've ever seen anything like it. Maybe Buster Douglas defeating Mike Tyson would be
1 serves 2.
I guess
the
that would
closest.
be good. Yeah.
Although we found out that Mike Tyson really isn't much when faced with a guy that is bigger than him and can take his punch.
Side
So
out.
that was more of a hype job upset.
2 serves 1. I didn't see no slide. Point.
Referee said he didn't see a slide there.
But he
3. Point.
didn't say it with proper
3 serves
grammar.
Well,
1.
I love the way he said it. I didn't see no slide.
Short ball.
Unfortunately, Dave, we're penalized for using
Second
poor
serve.
grammar, and so are our referees.
So there's a what?
Yeah, that's a fine.
Okay. Guess you're going to take our referee to school.
Well,
Back to the roof.
spending money out of your own wallet is, I find, the best school.
I don't even own a wallet. That's how
Point.
broke I am.
Well, it's tough when you pay for everyone's flights and
I
hotel
found,
rooms.
Four.
I found it,
Third
it's kind of
one.
odd to have a, it's almost strange to have a wallet.
Huh.
I mean, don't you save the money that you would be putting in the wallet if you didn't buy the wallet? I know it's semantics with you.
E Ft McCarthy is really playing well right now.
Side out.
Well, she just scored 4 more points than anybody on
1
tour,
serves 4.
dating back to Sandy Ng, who scored 5 in a quarterfinal match.
Point.
Excuse
2
me,
serves
Sandy
4.
scored 1 and 1. Sorry.
Yeah.
Now that I think about it,
That was Danielle
Danielle
Daskalakis.
Daskalakis, she scored 5 and 0.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that better?
Point.
What would you rather have, 5 and 0 against Katrina or 1 and 1?
3 serves 4.
3
I
to
think
4.
5 and 0.
I like to join the 0 club, actually. I hear Edel Handball will
Side
have
out.
that new slogan rolling out soon. I joined the 0 club.
4 serves 3. Short ball.
I think
Second
Katrina
serve.
comes into this without any type of nerves because this is her best friend and she's
Side out.
she's been there, done that.
Don't
She
you
comes
think-
in here saying, well, you
That's
know,
your first
nobody can beat
timeout.
her and she's my
You got
friend,
a
so
minute.
I don't need
Score
to put
is
pressure on
3,
myself. I already know what's going to
4.
happen, and she comes out to this 4 to.
Oh, you mean
One
Eva
leg-
comes
yeah,
in
Eva,
with no
yeah.
pressure. Yeah.
And, you know, I mean, even though it's, I believe the score might be tied now at 4, even though the scoreboard says 3-4. I might be wrong, but I think she still doesn't have as much pressure as one might think. I can tell you earlier, other players that played Katrina found out that they had a lot of nerves that they didn't think they would get. But when she does what she does in there, it's difficult.
30 seconds.
You know, we had an interview with Kara Mack talking to Sienna Kareen as well as Martina McMahon.
Seconds.
Sienna said, you know, I started kind of late. Started at 7.
Yeah. Well, if you haven't started your sport by 7, you're not going to become a
All right,
pro.
let's play ball.
I think that's
Casey serving.
Pretty well
3 serves
understood.
4.
You think they start playing baseball, Dave, in the Dominican Republic when they're 15?
No, they're actually turning pro at 15,
That's
just
what I
saying that
mean.
they're 26.
Yeah. Well, they're 26, saying they're 15.
15, right.
Yeah.
Had that backwards.
But regardless, they've still been playing for 22 years at
Yeah.
that point.
There's a swing and a
Point.
miss. Back wall still giving McCarthy some fits.
4 serves 4.
But even after all of that play, we're all together at 4 here. And now make
Point.
that 5-4, Casey.
5 plays 4.
To say that we're behind on schedule is pretty much an understatement.
Yeah, but
Point.
you don't care about the schedules.
No, why would I? I'm just here without a wallet.
Unfortunately, you do have a watch.
6 plays 4. Point. Seven plays 4. Short ball. She appeals. Both agrees. Both agree.
See, he
Second
corrected
serve.
himself that time, the referee did. Referee said both agrees.
Point.
Like how Katrina's able to back E Ft into that right side. And when we talked to Tracy Davis after she played
8,
Katrina,
serve
she said,
4.
you know, she was backing me out into the corners and blocking me. And I said, well, that's the way the game's played.
Yeah.
You see how.
Point.
You know, I heard one of the women give an interview at the last event saying, you know, when you play Katrina, the hardest thing is that there's all this
9,
hype because
plays
everyone
4.
says, oh, she's so good. Well, yeah, she is.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not hype. It's the reality, you know. And
She's actually really good. And Dave, there's some players that don't deserve the hype.
Point.
Sometimes some players don't deserve it, and they get it. And
let's
10,
name some of
plays
those.
4.
well, no, I mean,
No, let's
it's
do
some
it.
of that hype is due to just trying to, you know, bring viewers. We've seen this in other sports.
Point.
Katrina Casey really is the
Yeah.
greatest player I've ever seen that's
11
on
plays
the
4.
Women's Pro Tour. So good that she will probably or will eventually qualify as
Side out.
a men's pro. I have a feeling she will at one of these stops.
Okay.
Now, she can't seem to get out of the first round of the qualifier for the
4,
men's, but she
plays
said she's
11.
not going to make her stop. She said she just needs to adjust her game. But can you imagine her adjusting her game?
You know, Dave, I don't buy into the ball excuse. Not one of those. But I do notice that she doesn't play as well with the race for 8 ball.
Yeah, well, she's played her whole life with one that she's mastered, and now she needs to master the other one. And I think she knows that. And after the
Just watching her now, there's certain shots she hits that I know would not work with the heavier ball.
right.
Just certain flip shots and certain punch shots that she hits are just dead with a harder ball. And I
Yeah.
think that's something I see when I watch her play in those men's qualifiers.
That's why I think she said in a couple years she'll do it. She still is absolutely amazing at 60 by 30 handball too, by the way. We don't
Yeah.
give her any credit for that, but that ball makes it up with a left-handed shot from E Ft. So she's mastering so many different forms of the sport, playing with different balls. And
5 plays 11.
let's talk about E Ft though here. Look at that serve.
Point.
Oh, that's Aoife's strength is her serve down the right. And she has that underarm
6
stroke.
plays 11.
Oh,
I
her
think
brother
she hits
Robbie
it with a fist sometimes.
Robbie has top 5 serve down the right, I think. I think she gets a little bit of that from her brother.
Side out.
And those are the plays that, if you want to do what Nadia Alvarado did earlier today against Nadia, against Emmett, or
11
what Nadia
plays
did
6.
in the first round, you do everything right. You don't have to be perfect, but you can't miss shots like that.
Side out.
Well, Aoife's doing extremely well here right now.
Yeah, 6 to 11.
Yeah,
was
and-
up 4 to 0, 4 to 1.
6 plays 11.
But you can't miss balls that you could get 100% of the time any other time.
It's a good shot. Now, one thing, Dave, I've noticed with Aoife is after she serves, she clears all the way over to the side wall, and it didn't really affect her on that
Side
play,
out.
but she's got to hold her ground there, not only to force Katrina to hit a certain shot, but also she's in
11 plays
position to hit
6.
the next shot. And you see Katrina, she's not going anywhere after she serves.
Well, look at that, though.
Side out.
If we were to replay, we would probably
but
do that.
let's-
Although you saw Aoife just
6
shake her
plays
head no,
11.
like, I'm
Let's
sorry.
watch where Aoife goes.
Yeah, she's
Beautiful.
out of
Side
position
out.
there. But Aoife's out of position there.
Yeah. Perfect shot, though.
I've seen a lot of players say, I didn't hit the
11
ball in the
plays
right
6.
spot, so I deserve this. But
By a lot, you mean yourself?
I do. I mean, I know that when
Yeah,
I'm out of
slide.
position, I'm mad at
I
myself,
seen
and I
it.
don't go for the next one. So I like to
What
punish
about when you
myself.
fake go, like you're not going to go for it, but then you actually do?
Wow.
That's good.
Seen it.
I mean, I don't think you get enough credit for
Remember in
Replay
Jumanji
that.
when
11 plays 6.
No.
the hippos ran out of the side of the house there? That's how I do it.
Point.
That
when I hit a
beautiful
shot, I don't like. I just catch it. I don't even want my opponent to have the satisfaction.
12 plays 6.
12 to 6 score.
Point. 13 plays 6.
Dave, I think regardless of what happens
Short
throughout
ball.
the remainder of this match, Aoife's going to gain a lot of confidence from this tournament. 6
Second
points
serve.
against Katrina Casey. She's not done yet in this game, and also winning that great match in the
Point.
quarterfinals against Maria Dugas.
Did you see that last shot?
Yeah, it was
I mean,
perfect.
I agree with you, but did you see that last shot?
I did.
That's a
Game
beautiful
point,
left hand.
36.
We saw Katrina about 2 years ago, 3 years ago. We felt that that was the thing she needed to work on, was that left, and it's kind of obvious that
Side
she
out.
has.
I can remember the first time we saw
Sixth
Katrina
place,
Dave.
14.
One of the women pros on hand at a collegiate event said, "Oh well, you know, she's a college player. She's not. This is pro. I'm a pro handball player." And Katrina went in there and gave her 3 straight donuts, all to 21.
Yeah, that was actually fun.
And Dave, if you remember, they turned the lights out
Point.
at the facility after Katrina just won the
ball.
singles and doubles and 3 straight games of
By a combined of
21-0.
11 points total.
Good.
Yeah, well, it was actually 3.
Okay.
Six,
Yeah.
No, I'm talking
serving,
between singles and doubles.
14. 7
Yeah,
serves
three.
5
14.
rounds each. I'm talking about the whole
5,
tournament.
the whole
yeah,
round.
11
I was
points
just talking about just on the
throughout
Sunday.
the tournament.
She played the singles and doubles in 3 games of 21, and then they turned the lights out in the building. She was prepared
Yes,
to
yeah, I
play
see a slide. Replay.
another 20 games,
Yeah.
all which would have been zeros.
She took it on as a challenge, and
7 serves 14.
that was interesting. That was a great moment. One of the best of my life, actually. Because it was beautifully set up from the
Yeah.
broadcast booth
Side out.
to the broadcast partner, who was the one who had to go in and play,
Yeah.
and said exactly like this: "How many points do you think that you'd get
14,
off of
play
Katrina
7.
Casey?" Now, I'm talking to a top 10 pro.
Yeah.
And she said, well, she might score a couple. That was the response. Well, 3 games of getting 0. You're right. She scored a couple. If a couple is 63.
Yeah.
Oh, that's game.
There it
You
is.
guys
That
got
was not the right shot again.
3
We've seen
minutes.
E Ft do that a couple times, and I think that's just conditioning, where you stick that left out there instead of taking it off the back wall, planting your feet, taking the right shot. E Ft makes the hand error on the fish shot there. And we are going to go to Kara Mack, courtside now. Kara.
Hey, I've got Martina McMahon, who's going to be playing in the semis coming up. This is an all-Irish takeover for the women. Why do you think that is?
I don't know, I presume it's the handball back home is starting to pick up, especially in the ladies' side of things. And I suppose a big asset we have at home is there's plenty of young boys playing, so we get to play those and they give us good competition. But I suppose, yeah, all-Irish final or all-Irish semi-finals, it's kind of, it's good. It's not something you come across often, but I'm looking forward to the game.
Does it feel good? Is it special, or does it not really mean anything? It's more of an individual sport.
I suppose it's special in a way, but to me it doesn't really matter. I just take on whoever's in the court, and if it's Irish or if it's American, I'm up for the game. It's all the one, and I don't think that there's much difference between the American and the Irish. Everyone has their own unique styles, and it's all down to who you play in the court, and it's up to you to change it.
Do you see handball growing more on the female side of things in Ireland, or is it on the male side as well?
No, the male is always good at home, but definitely the female is picking up. Underage is phenomenal, and definitely myself, Katrina, Sienna and Aoife, we'd want to watch our backs in a couple of years because it's definitely stronger than it ever was before.
Why do you think that is?
I suppose they're putting in more time and commitment into it, and watching the likes of Katrina playing, like her 2 hands, you can't compare them, they're just unreal. And same with Aisling Riley, so aspiring to be like those is definitely a drive on. And the young girls at home, as I said, they're playing boys at home, and definitely brings on the game.
So just gaining some perspective of how much time you put into handball, how long you've been playing for, how you got into it, how does that work for you?
Yeah, well, my mother's probably at home watching it now, and I used to play on the county camogie team at home, and I gave that up just to commit to the handball. She wasn't too impressed, but I had to make a decision, so I chose the handball. So since then, I'm focusing on that, and I play a good few times a week, and definitely the coach back home, Pat Murphy, without him, I don't know, I definitely wouldn't be over here, and I wouldn't be performing as good as I am now. But yeah, no, it takes a lot of time and commitment, and I try to go to the alley as much as I can and play tough games and space out my games, but have a few days of rest as well.
This is your first pro tournament. What has it been like?
Yeah, it's unreal. Definitely be coming back again, and it's great to come over and get good games against people you've never played before. Like I played Danielle this morning, and the hook on the ball was something I've never experienced from any female player before, and it's definitely an asset to her game, and it was good to play different people, and hopefully I'll be back to another pro stop soon.
Do you think as an Irish player you play differently than the players here in America?
Yeah, the Americans do be on about our Irish whip, all right, but I don't know if I really have that. I'd say I have a 60 by 30 swing, but like Eva was even saying to me this morning that I don't have many sidearms. I don't have sidearm on either left or right, but I don't know. I tried to change that, but I don't know if I bother changing it now. It seems to be working for me, so the Irish whip, I suppose, all the way.
How have you liked New York so far?
Yeah, it's busy. Definitely the city that never sleeps, but it's fun. It's a lot busier than Ireland compared to my hometown. You see about 2 cars a day passing down the road, but yeah, no, it's wild. It's fun. It's good.
Good luck in your match coming up.
Cheers. Thank you.
Thanks for talking. Back to you guys.
Yeah, that sounds like a small town. I grew up in a small town. People came to watch big trucks shift down where I came from. Sounds like the same village that Martina McMahon. Sounds dangerous, Dave, just listening to that conversation there.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, there's just a bunch of young women players.
Oh, that
coming
kind
up.
of dangerous.
Yeah,
I thought you meant
dangerous for
because
the
the 2
American
cars
players.
driving around. I was thinking, well, that doesn't sound.
Yeah, well,
you just have to avoid 2 cars in a
Oddly
whole
enough,
day.
yeah, oddly enough, you can still get into an accident there.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, just they have a system, and she picked handball over camogie, and did I say that right? Which is like the women's version of hurling.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now we're
Katrina
into
Casey will serve.
game number 2 here.
0 serves 0.
As Dave Vincent and Dave Fink here will continue in this live broadcast together without a replacement for Dave Fink. Oh, look at that shot there.
Side out.
A tremendous shot there from Aoife.
0 serves 0. Side out. You okay, Aoife?
A very nice rally there,
0
ended by
serves 0.
Katrina Casey.
Point. 1
Score
serves
here.
0.
1-0.
Foot fault. It's your left foot. Second serve. Point. 2 play 0.
2-0.
Point.
Look at that shot there. That's that left hand that we're talking about.
3 play 0.
I think that Katrina Casey's become sort of a triple threat here, Dave, because not only is she the best right now, it would seem, but she's also starting to color code
Oh, she's definitely got
her
the best outfit
her
of the
look.
tournament here.
I mean, got those Edel gloves. She's now a sponsored athlete wearing the yellow, and she said, you know, I have to get the yellow shorts.
Yeah.
Headband, accessorizing. I think the shoes lack a little bit in the color department.
Oh, the shoes are neutral, so.
Well, I don't think
The
she-
shoes match the gray shirt, though. There's gray in the
Nah.
shoes,
4
and
play 0.
gray in the
I
shirt.
don't know.
Not good enough.
Not good enough for me.
How about the eye guards also
Yeah,
matching?
the eye guards are
Point.
great, but those shoes need to be gray. That'll tie everything in. You know, I'd like to
5
see her
plays
throw in a
0.
little red down there.
I don't think so.
Yeah, red shoes would just really just, you know, bring the whole thing together. Oh, that sounded
Point.
like a broke.
It didn't, though.
I know. That was one of those balls that hits right directly in the
Timeout.
corner.
That's kind of a
That's your
two-way
first.
call for you.
You
You
got
know,
a minute.
saying that it broke.
No, but it
gives
sounded
any-
like it. I wasn't looking.
Score is 6. 6, serve 0.
But Dave, I was thinking a little bit of red would tie everything in together. I know you don't watch Bravo Channel anymore, but
Thank you for at least acknowledging that. Took a vow.
took a vow to what?
To never watch that again.
Oh, okay. Vanderpump, or what was the thing that you, Vanderhouse rules?
That's in the past.
You're watching the WPH Race for 8 by Edel Handball alongside Dave Fink. My name is Dave Vincent. Had to think about that for a second.
10 seconds.
Referee Mondo Ortiz, who just lost
Are
to
you
Paul
good?
Brady.
Okay. All right, let's play ball.
6-0 here.
6, serve 0.
And Katrina
Point.
Casey firing on all cylinders now.
I think Katrina's upset about her 0
7,
streak,
play 0.
trying to get back on it again. I don't blame her.
Katrina, much like Paul Brady, just has that ability to keep rallies alive,
Point.
makes amazing retrieves.
She just glides across the court.
Yeah.
Clyde the Glide.
8, serve 0. Short ball.
Thought I'd throw that in there in honor of Edel Handball, who
Second serve.
called their home base Portland, Oregon. Remember Clyde Drexler played for the Trailblazers.
I do. One of the greats.
He glided like Casey does
Point.
when he went for the ball.
Unfortunately, Clyde ran into Michael Jordan in his prime.
Yeah.
9, play 0.
Or else, if there were no Michael Jordan, we would be talking about Clyde Drexler as
Yeah.
being one of the greatest basketball players of all time.
Point.
Unfortunately, played for sort of a third market basketball
10,
team.
serve 0.
Or else, if he was in Chicago, he was pretty amazing, Dave. You were only about 9 years old, but
No, I was actually a little bit older than that. I remember him well.
back to the roof, underhand fist. This is going to be tough. Katrina back to the roof again. This is why people say she's like the Dave
Point.
Chapman or the Tony Healy of women's handball, because she so effortlessly pops it up to the roof, but it
11, play
hits
0.
just in the right spot off the back wall. Look how she does these serves here. It just puts you in such an awkward position. And you think you can power through it, but you really can't. And then you have
Point.
open
Timeout.
opportunities like that,
That's your second.
and E Ft can't even get it back to the front
Score
wall.
is 12, serve 0.
12-0 score here. E Ft just, this isn't a timeout, Dave, because she's tired. This is a timeout from somebody who feels like they want to cry, but they want to do it in front of the camera. Dave, have you ever thought about taking a timeout and just doing this right in front of the camera, just lay back against the wall?
I hadn't, no. I usually play on non-TV courts because I know that no one wants to watch it and I don't want to be seen. So that's how I handle that. And then I play the best match to the tournament that no one sees.
Or the worst loss that no one sees.
10
That's
seconds.
true.
I guess it's somewhat transitive in that way.
Ready? All right, let's play ball. 12, serve 0.
12-0.
Nice to see Dave, one of our
All
top
right,
players in the
timeout.
world, stepping in to referee this match.
Point.
the men pros, they love watching the women.
Yeah. Well,
13-0.
that's how it all started with Adam and Eve, Dave.
So you believe in that over
Well, that's what we were
evolution.
told to believe, so.
I know that you like to
Match
just kind of
point,
go
0-0.
along with.
I go along with
You're not
what
skeptical.
I'm told to go along with.
Yeah.
Because I follow the rules. Yeah. Back to the roof with the
Well,
left hand. And
You're
there's
not
a missing.
a real logic-based type person, so it doesn't really.
After
bother you.
scoring 7 points in the first game, McCarthy scores 0 in game 2, and that kind of answers that question. Do you put a 0 on your best friend? Answer, yes.
Well, I think 1-0 is okay. 2, I don't think you do.
Okay. Yeah, but you have to admit, E Ft was playing good in that
Yeah.
first game, and I don't think those, especially that first rally, that was all brought to you by really good play from E Ft McCarthy. Well, okay, so Katrina goes to another final. This time she's going to play either Martina McMahon or Sienna Nee Kareen. I'm going to have to get a glossary of how to pronounce these names before this tournament's over with. Let's go to Kara Mack, who's courtside right now. Kara, what's up?
Yep, I've got Katrina here, the winner. Congratulations.
Thanks very much.
Now headed to the finals tomorrow once again. Is it any more difficult to have your best friend out there on the court when you do this, or is it a little more fun, or what's the reaction to that?
No, like, obviously myself and Aoife are great friends off the court, and she's very sporting on the court as well, but like it's not like anything else is going through your mind like when you're taking your shot or anything like that. We both want to win, like, and obviously I respect her as an opponent as well, so the only thing really is that we both know each other's game so well at this stage. Like, I felt like she was reading my shots very well, like she knew exactly where I was going to go with them every time, so I was trying then not to be so predictable, but yeah, I'm just happy to get the win.
In that first game, what was going through your mind? Because she is the first person to get some points on you, and she managed to do it right away and then wait a little bit and still be able to redo. What was going through your mind at that point?
Yeah, she started off very strong and she was serving well. Just all that was on my mind really was to get her out of the service box and to try to get my own game going. I felt I misjudged some shots down the left side wall, and I just wanted to rectify that really and try to get a bit of momentum, and that's it.
I just had a chance to talk to Martina as well to talk about how this semifinals is an all-Irish women takeover. What does that mean for you?
Yeah, like, I think it's a true reflection really of the state of ladies handball. It's very strong in Ireland at the moment. We've Sienna and Martina going up against each other now, and they're really pushing the senior players at home. Martina got to the All-Ireland semi-final there in senior, which is our open championship, and Sienna had a tough game and just came on the wrong side of her quarter-final. So yeah, they had a good rivalry when they were younger, and they haven't played for the last 2 years, so I'm looking forward to watching this game.
She had also talked about the growth of young gals now wanting to play the sport and growing and looking up to you as a player. What does that mean to you?
Well, I don't know if they look up to me, but it's great. Like, there are a lot more young girls playing and competing now, and the standard is just getting higher and higher, and it's great to see, and I'm sure more of them will be pushing all of us within the next 5 years probably. So yeah, it's brilliant.
What do you have to say to all those other young athletes who are looking at picking up the sport or picking up some sort of sport?
I would say definitely go for it. Handball has been a huge part of my life, and I can't imagine not playing it, but just the opportunities that you get through playing sport in general, obviously not even at a high level or anything like that, you get to make lots of new friends, and obviously it's great for your health and your fitness and everything, and I'd encourage anyone to try handball. Sure, all you need is a ball in the wall really, and have a go.
Congratulations. Thanks. Dave.
Yeah, Dave, a ball on a wall and also be born into the best genetics that's ever happened. I mean, Katrina Casey's just absolutely amazing. Again, just like Paul Brady, she was not good at interviews at the very beginning. You and I remember just how much she's grown in the sport of handball. as you recall, we were in Tucson, and we sat down for this long interview session. She was having a sort of mild panic attack at the very beginning. Dave, you remember she was just didn't know how to answer the questions. Now, she's even gone to the drawing board on how to do that right, and she's doing it right.
Wow. I thought she was brilliant in those interviews.
Yeah, it was not well. We did those we asked the same questions 3 times, and I think on the 3rd time she finally got it down. But she's just good. What else can you say? We have as I look down the list here, Martina McMahon, Sienna Nee Kareen in the dark shirt. We're going to get to her coming up right around the corner. So we want you to stay close. We'll have the second women's semifinals match coming up next. Want you to stay close. It's an all-Irish semifinals for the pro women. We'll be back in just a bit here in New York at the NYAC for the WPH Race for 8 on ESPN and the Watch ESPN app. Stick with us.
So, same time next week?
Well, of course. Put away a few bucks, feel like $1,000,000. For free tips to help you save, go to Feed the Pig.